I have had a long week, and yesterday I got off of work and I was like, you know what? I'm going home. I'm gonna take a shower and I'm gonna take a nap. But all day I had been feeling like slightly congested, headache, and then I got home to a sick chicken. So if I take a break out of here to go outside and check on the chicken, it's because Miss Stretch Marks is in this weird place where like she doesn't look quite right and she's not acting quite right. And I've done the things that I have read to do when you think a chicken is egg bound, and I have felt her, and I don't feel what should be an egg in her abdomen close to her vent. So all of that being said, I'm in a weird space right now, and originally I had planned to do this live stream last night, but given the circumstances, given the way that I was feeling, I just postponed it for today, right now. So far the day has been good outside of the weird chicken chaos. I finally uploaded the second part of my Niagara Falls birthday video, so if you haven't watched that, I encourage you to do so if you want some really beautiful, interesting, eye-catching, stimulating, sensory, watery stimulation, some visuals for you. I loved being up there. I loved watching all the footage back. The part 2 is emotional and made me emotional watching it and editing it back. But I'm here now. I'm in the studio now. I've got these 3 paintings that I've been slowly layering and adding to, with the intention of this being like another small grouping of works. Last Friday, I think I did a live stream. And I was talking about how I was preparing for an art show the following day. And so I have those works back, and I'm going to show you those works so that you get an understanding of where I'm going with these ones, because they are all essentially the same stable image, block print image, but the painted background underneath the print and then the addition of paint on top to extend the print onto the rest of the paper differs and really creates a different story with each piece. And so the 3 pieces that I showed last week are their own triptych art piece family, and then this is the next art family of the same image. Okay? So let me show you the first one. This is the first one. I'm going to do it quickly because these are kind of heavy. They're in floating frames, but this is the first piece. This is the second. And this is the third. So you see they all have the same black printed image, but the background and the foreground is different. I'm now working on these. So I have these 3 that I've been layering the paint. This is one that I worked on sometime last week. I think I may have started this during the live last week. I genuinely don't remember. And I've worked on it a little bit throughout the week, just kind of layering the paint on top to create, I don't know, to just bring the story to life. And I can't outwardly say, okay, this is what I'm going for right now, other than these 3 pieces are focused on love and what it looks like to love, what it looks like to feel loved, loving outwardly versus inwardly, loving myself, being open to loving others, love in a general sense, not necessarily a romantic sense. And I think this has been heavy on my mind, one, because I'm single, and two, because I have been feeling quite inspired and encouraged to be myself and to share more of myself and to be comfortable with speaking about and showing myself, both like here personally and also through my artwork, because I think a lot can be said, a lot can be understood through the artwork that I make, and I think people can resonate with it. But one of the core feelings and core thoughts that I've been kind of sitting with is what I want love to look like in my life, when it comes to opening up myself to friendships, to my family, to my son, to myself, the love and care and attention that I give myself, and the love and care and attention I give my artwork in itself. Like, this practice in itself is a show of love, and I need to make more of an effort to be proactive with this level of care and attention, because I feel like if not, I end up within myself and overwhelmed and feeling lonely, and that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So this is the first one. I'm happy with this. I have not decided yet if I'm going to add anything more, but I am happy with where this is right now. I had two more. I have this one. This one needs more layers to it, and I don't quite know the direction that I'm going to go here with this. I don't quite have a vision for that. And then there's this one. This one only has one layer, but I like the blues and purples. So I think I'm going to start here. Come back around. I'll switch in and out of the different pieces as I work. But this is where I'm at. Trying to mentally take a break, mentally focus in, trying to get some of these thoughts and feelings out. And it's interesting because, like, with the first family, I just painted, printed, and just like got to a place where I felt like I could call them done. And then when I looked at them visually all together, it made sense. The story came to life. It all was clarified. And I'm trying not to think too hard about this. My signature explanation here is like, just work. Don't worry about what it looks like, what it means, and trust that it'll all come together. And I truly believe that. And I know that the focus of this is what I've already explained with regard to love. But I don't know, there's an added like nervousness in a way, or just like nervousness in anticipation of what I expect myself to do with these artworks, because I had those 3 artworks in a show last weekend. There's a show that I'm gonna submit to by the end of this weekend, and then is there another show? There's several different opportunities that I have found or have been kind of like invited to, or people have mentioned to me that I want to be prepared for and I want to actively participate in. But I know with that comes obviously the what I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I feel like I'm gonna have to talk to people about what I'm making, why I'm making it. And that's okay, like, I'm down to do that, but it's just been so long since I've done that in person. This right here is just me kind of rambling to myself and anybody else who wants to come and watch, and I appreciate that, and it's definitely an outlet for me that has been helpful to this process. But then going out and talking to people one-on-one is a little bit different. I do have a little bit of social anxiety, but whatever. It is what it is. It's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be just fine. Okay. This is our starting point. Let me take a little video. Let's see. I can hear the chickens outside. They have been loud today. I'm really, honestly, quite concerned for Miss Stretch Marks, but I have done all that I can do at this very moment. I have done all of the things that I have researched that have been said to help, and I just need to give her time to relax. In the meantime, I'm going to paint. I've got my water here. Hello. And my paint palette. Should I set up higher? Maybe I'll put it up a little bit higher. I've also been listening to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, last book of the series. I've been listening to it. Haven't listened to it today yet, but pretty nonstop all week, and the British accent is stuck in my mind. So if that comes out in this live stream, just, enjoy it. All right, let's see. Let me be quiet and get started. I've really been enjoying just painting in washes rather than like super solid, opaque paint strokes, brush strokes. Layering the colors in washes has been satisfying to me. I never used to paint like that. I used to do like one solid wash in the beginning, and then like draw the image on top of the wash, or maybe vice versa. Like I might used to draw the image that I was going to paint first and then do the wash on top. But just kind of like building up the colors through the washes without like solid drawn on imagery, especially like with this process. I think it's different between painting on this paper and painting on canvases. Let me show you this. Okay, I think I showed y'all this last week on the live stream, but it's getting closer to being finished and I'm feeling good about it. Still got some work to do. It doesn't feel quite done, but what I was getting at, the point was, is that like painting on canvas, I'm still using that same technique of layering washes and different different thicknesses of paint. Like some areas are very solid, and other areas are just washes, layered washes, but then there's like very precise brush strokes and very like intentionally placed marks. But I think this process here on the paper has been a little bit different. It definitely has been different. And I appreciate it for whatever it's doing for me. I think I will only truly know in hindsight. You know, give me a couple months, give me a few years to do all this work and show it and be proud of it, or, you know, to be able to think back and understand how this process has been important to me. I just don't want anything to be too hard and too stagnant. I don't want it to be too hard. I don't want it to be too bold. I don't want it to feel stagnant. I just want it to be like I want it to feel like a reflection or like a mirage, like a daydream. I want it to feel like I want it to feel, I don't know, I want it to feel like a spirit. Like not a whole solid state. What am I saying? I don't know. I also like making everything drip and layering that. And then what I'm gonna do, actually, put that there. I'm gonna drip onto this one. Alright, I'm gonna leave that alone for now. And luckily I have the fan from the van that'll help this dry a little bit quicker. So I'm gonna put this to the side to dry, and then I'll keep going with the other ones. Hello everybody, Buck Cannon, good morning, those colors are beautiful, thank you. I also happen to be an artist. I do portraits, I work in pencil, charcoal, and pastels. I used to work with watercolor, awesome. Do you work with acrylic? Yes, this is all acrylic currently. These paintings are acrylic washes, and then I do the linoleum block on top, and then I use gouache on top of the acrylic and the print to kind of extend the print. I used the gouache last time with the last three, but I've got to feel it out again whether I'm gonna use the gouache or the acrylic on these ones. I think like visually they have the same appearance, but the gouache allows me a smoother experience as far as like creating long lines without having to stop in the middle of the process. On canvas, I typically paint with acrylics as well. I've done oil painting before. It's been a long time, but like this painting here, like the body is oil and the leaves up top are oil, but the rest is acrylic. This one over here, the face and hair are oil, but the rest is acrylic. So I've done work like that where it's mixed media, but I honestly prefer acrylics. I just have the most experience with acrylics, and I like the way they work. I'm a creature of habit also. I don't really switch things up all that much. I'll do, layers of different materials, and I'll maybe utilize them in different areas of an artwork, but I'm not just doing oil paint. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. I feel stuck with this one, I'm not gonna lie. The thing is that I don't quite know what is the top and what is the bottom. And that presents a bit of an issue to me because the print is only going to go one direction. And in my view of this currently, if it goes this way, then to me currently it gives off like heavy clouds, rain. It's really reminding me of the waterfalls in Niagara Falls. There's something about like the heavy dripping that is reminding me of that. And maybe I just need to flow with that. Do more drips, perhaps? That's the answer. More drips. Just keep it dripping. Because I'm sitting here and thinking about it, talking about it too much rather than just doing. So I'm gonna move forward. More drips. That's the vibe that I'm getting. It's just like heavy rain, heavy water. And I think there's a bit of resistance there. It's not my intention to make these artworks that I want to focus around love be heavy. But that seems to be what is presenting itself here. And rather than avoiding it, trying to make it something that it's not supposed to be just because I don't want it to be, is not nice. That's not nice to the artwork. And it's really not nice to me because I shouldn't hold myself back from this expression, an expression of heaviness, even if it's uncomfortable. This is kind of what I did last time, is I dripped it and then had it bow down so that it could kind of just pool. Is anybody out there watching this actually making artwork with me? Or are you just kind of like watching and hanging out? Part of me feels like I want to do like an art, not necessarily an art class, but like art club, art get together, online get together. I don't know. I'm an art teacher during the day. I'm a therapeutic visual arts teacher is kind of how I call it, but I'm a registered art therapist. I have my master's in art therapy. I use art therapy every day with my students. They all have special needs. So I work with varying degrees of neurodivergence, different types of people, different abilities. And I also do art club on Fridays with a certain group of students. And obviously I do art here on my own, and I make my videos, and I get creative in different ways, but part of me feels like I want to kind of hone in on this, especially with the van. And that was one of the original reasons why I bought the van, is I had this vision of doing art therapy type things in the van and traveling, and I'm feeling called back to that. And I don't know how exactly it's going to come into fruition. However, the fact that it's presenting itself to me now, lately, and the fact that I'm talking about it now, is an indication to me that something is shifting and happening, and it's going to work itself out. So I'm not going to harp on that too much, but if you'd be interested in like a consistent art thing where we actually do the art together, I encourage y'all to do art. Please, even if it's just like scribbling on paper with crayons or markers. Like, it doesn't have to be deep, it doesn't have to be emotional, it doesn't have to be conceptual, or like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be anything you don't want it to be. It's just a matter of releasing. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna keep brainstorming on that. I'm gonna just keep on brainstorming. I'll journal about it. I'll keep talking about it. I'm gonna pray about it. I've got to go stick this in front of the fan. I don't want these drips to go down all the way to the bottom here. I want them to kind of pool up and dry. And even though I'm focusing on dripping, like I'm up here at the top and I'm having the paint water drip down, I'm starting to feel like this is the bottom. And where the drips end are the top. And I kind of like that to mimic the plants that kind of work their way upwards in the print. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Red. That red is pretty intense. There's like this orangish red in the background. I typically don't use that fire red color, that brilliant red color. And it's like very warm in the background, and something about that is throwing me off. It's just not a color that I'm used to. And its addition to this artwork is providing a different sort of feel. And I trust it. I trust myself. I know I put it there for a reason. I know I decided to squeeze it out the bottle for a reason, and I'm just gonna let it be. But I'm just saying, something about it is making me feel like this is the color families of this work is a bit different than what I'm used to. And that's fine. That's fine. It's part of the process. It's part of the imagery. Somehow, some way, one way or another, it will come back around and make sense. Or perhaps not. And the fact that it doesn't make sense to me is part of it as well. But this deeper red, I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying this like down here. I don't know if you can see it very well. You can't. And I can't lift it up because then it's all gonna drip over. And I don't want that to happen. But I think right now there's enough liquid on here. There's enough paint on here, and I need to somehow transfer this over there to the fan. All right, now or never. Okay. I'm distracted now, but I want to show y'all something else. Kind of random, but also I did this plaster casting of my pregnant belly when I was 8.5 months. It was maybe like 3 to 4 weeks before I actually gave birth. My mom helped me do this, and it's just been sitting here in the studio waiting for me to address it again, and I'm really it's in line. I'm really hoping and looking forward to getting back to this and kind of cleaning up these edges and making it its own art piece within itself. I haven't said this outwardly out loud. I said it to one person, maybe two, but I don't think I've said it in this format here as I do my artwork. But I have a concept for a solo art show, or like, I have an idea for the groupings of my artwork. I feel like the artwork that I've been making over the last 2 years all belong within the same family and all are representative of who I am. Obviously, now things have been very different for me since the last time I openly spoke about my artwork being like a collective ensemble, if that makes any sense. But I have these ideas and I have these artworks that are slowly but surely being created, and they all have this interconnectedness that feel like a family, that they feel like an art family. They feel like they need to be hung up in a space all together, to be seen all together. And I am working towards that. I'm looking forward to that. It's one of my goals for this year. And this is one of the pieces that was started over a year ago that I have not gotten back to, but it's in line. I have a line of pieces, okay? I have a line of artwork that is just waiting to be addressed. It's waiting for my attention. And I have had to come to terms with the fact that, like, I have so many different ideas and so many different visions for things that just simply take time, and I can't rush the process. And having to deal with that is part of the process in itself. But this is my belly casting, and one of these days you're gonna see me work on it and transform it into something more intricate and more beautiful. But can you imagine? This was me. Oh, this was me. Oh, goodness. I loved my belly. I loved my belly. Alright, so this is mostly dry. This is where I'm at. This feels very reminiscent, very similar. This feels like it needs to go dark. I need to go dark. Let's see. This feels like I need to darken up the background quite a bit. Excuse me. I'm starting to feel hungry. What time is it? 12:13. It's lunchtime. All right, let's see. Drip, drip. Let's start out flat first. Drips. In what way can love be connected to the imagery of dripping liquid? Hmm? My first thought is tears. Tears of joy, tears of happiness, tears of heartbreak, tears of grief, and all of those can be rooted in love. I also think of like, oh shit, like an overflow. An overflow of feeling. I'm not sure. I think that'll come with time. I'm in no rush. It's been a good learning process for me, is not to rush it. That my understanding of the intuitive imagery I create will show itself. It will indeed show itself. My finger keeps getting in the way. I need a big clipboard. I need to go get one of those. I remember those being very helpful in high school. It was just like a huge clipboard. You clip it at the top. You could put it on your easel or your little like easel horse thing. I need that. I need one of those. I've also been thinking about the fact that I just need like additional storage space for things here in my studio. My studio feels crowded. Like I have a lot of stuff in here, but I don't feel like I have enough like storage space. Or proper spaces to work from. It's darker. I don't quite feel like it's dark enough. I don't want it to be like black, you know? I don't want it to be dark as in just black. But I do want it to feel, I want it to feel like it's like the sun has gone down and you're hidden beneath the trees and it's a cloudy night. You're losing daylight. I've got all this dripped paint on the table surface that I want to use. I feel pretty good with this. Let's see. What does it look like? It's darker. It's darker, but it's not quite as dark as I want it to be. I think what I'm going to do is let this dry first and then come back later and add some darkness because I want this pool here to be more defined. I want the background of it to be darker so that this kind of pops. And yeah, but I don't want to keep adding to it right now while it's wet because it's just going to keep spreading. This one feels like I don't feel inclined to add anything to this one. Don't feel like adding anything to this one, so I'm gonna leave it. This might be the end of the live stream because, like I said, I'm hungry and everything is wet now, and I don't want to add too much too soon and take it too far. I definitely want to be happy with these and satisfied with these, and I just, right now it's feeling like they need a breather. I need a breather, I need a snack, and I'll come back to this later. So that's how I'm feeling, if I'm being honest. Let me check these messages really quick. Bug. Let me see. Wait, oh my god, so many messages. Okay, I understand. I don't like oil as well. I'm just hanging. Hey, art was my minor. I have a bachelor's in criminal justice. Awesome. What do you do? I'm also a bassist. Damn, you are well-rounded. It's very relaxing. Most artists also are musically inclined. I don't consider myself in any way musically inclined. I don't think I have it. There's a heart. You appear to be well-rounded. Thank you. I think so. I remember when we had our first, have you been commissioned to do any work? Yes, I have been commissioned. I've been commissioned in the past, and I actually was recently commissioned. I actually have that to work on today as well. A portrait of someone's mom. Shout out to Andre. You must be on the East Coast. Yes, I am. Lunchtime, but I'm just going for coffee. Enjoy! I've had my coffee this morning. I cannot do any more today. I feel wired. Buck said he's going for coffee as well. Tears, of course. That's what it's feeling like. I'm a crier. I'm not ashamed to say it. Great chatting with you, Jasmine. Headed out for coffee. We'll try to catch you on your next live. Bye, Buck. Enjoy your day. SAL, you said it looks like an amethyst rain shower. I like that. I have mentally taken note of that comment for this painting. There we are. I have a lot to think about. This obviously needs to dry. Everything's very wet. I'm gonna go eat and take a moment for myself and go check on my chicken and make sure she's okay. But if you stuck with me, thank you for being here. Go watch my Niagara Falls videos. I love them so much, and I love you. Have a good day.